James, thanks for doing this. I'm going to turn on the presentation. We're going to talk a lot about you. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, most welcome. Love to do it.
It's all for fun, right? I think it's important to make sure we talk about art, even though when we are under circuit breaker, right? So maybe the first question I have for you, James, is who is James Leong?
Oh man,
it's a difficult question because a lot of the times we are just But anyway, I'll stop talking. Who is James Leong, James?
okay. A little bit about myself. I started in advertising in 1988, so we're talking about close to 30 years now. As of now, I'm doing freelance for art direction and commercial artists are illustrating. So in that process,
so commercial art basically, right? It's commercial art basically.
Commercial art is more like it's like a commission work,
right?
Like maybe for advertising or marketing campaign or any other things else.
Right.
So you commission to do certain things, certain drawings in certain style and things like that.
So how many years have you been in this art business? You don't have to give us a sense.
Advertising since 1988, but if you're talking about, I left the full-time job at end of 2013.
2013.
And yeah, so I started freelancing since 2014.
Right.
I think that's where I get to know you guys or in open sketching and stuff like that.
Actually, I've known you for quite a number of years. If I look back Facebook, right, it's actually been quite a number of years too.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, I think at least 5-6 years. Got
Yeah, thereabout. I think if since 2014, that means it's 6 years from now already, or 5 plus.
Yeah, easily. So James, are you into media as well, or not really?
Into what media?
Media, like video and all this stuff.
Not actively, but not actively. I just enjoy drawing. So
yeah,
whatever I do, I just post it and share it.
Right.
And at times I organize, I do some art education.
Right.
Conduct some courses and some lectures after that.
Yeah. So teaching workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your other hobbies other than art. Do you have other stuff that you do?
I used to collect 12-inch figurine, but I stopped because run out of space. Apart from that, I'm a movie buff. I watch mostly action genre kind of movie. Anything that move more than my hands, I'll watch. And then besides that, I'll do some martial art training.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the latest movie you've seen?
Latest
what did you see anything on Netflix or anything like that? Or any movie? Movie I can't recall. Movie I TV
guess.
Show? TV shows.
Movie I guess was the Fat Dragon from Donnie Yen. I think back then, like
okay,
few months back before the CB activated. TV series, I think the last one I watched on Netflix is probably the F1 series, so
Right.
Drive to Survive.
right.
It's a documentary, but if a real drama, I think it's The Witcher.
Right. The Witcher is great. Actually, I love that one. Fantastic. Yeah. That was really, really good. Tell
Okay,
us
how this
about
comes about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, how this comes about is when I was young, I used to go to the National Library and then borrow this thick reference book. I think it's all like lithography, it's like all printed and stamped and stuff. So it's all actually line drawings. As I say, I'm an animal lover, so I actually spent a week just drawing one particular type of animal. Just copy and copy. So week in, week out, I just copy different type of animal, and then the book I keep on extending the loan period, until I complete the whole reference book. I just enjoy so much with drawing back then.
Right.
So I think that's where you cultivate my habit. I can start to draw from memory, how the poses and stuff like that, and then fast forward to now. I still draw animal a bit here and there, but I'm trying to perfect my skills after I left advertising, which actually doesn't give me a lot of ample time to practice and to draw.
Right.
And then when I got back to drawing, and there was few occasions when actually I was invited to doing portrait and caricature for pets.
Right.
So it's like a carnival for pets, things like that. And then I was there and the artist to start drawing and commission. So that's where I get actually, I should rekindle my love again, my interest in drawing animals again, you know.
Yeah.
And actually I'm more of a dog lover.
Right.
I'm a dog person.
Right. That's
And
surprising because you draw more cats.
I do a lot more cats instead, yes. And then because when people get in the comfort zone, you just do what you like.
Yeah.
That's where I say, hey, I actually don't really like cat that much. So I like, hey, but I want to find out more about cats. Okay, let's do a find about cats. And then I found that, interestingly, they actually look very much. The character look very much like our modern human being. Our Homo sapien in the sense of they are very individual.
Right.
And they just be who they are, do what they like.
Yeah.
They can be alone at times, they can be aggressive at times, but they can be wandering around, soulless, can't be bothered in things, just do what they like.
Yeah.
That brings me to the point, hey, why not I use cat as a character?
Yeah.
You know, to fit whatever subject I want to put on the door. So all of them is really a lot. And I'm very into ancient history.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of my cat's character adorning the ancient civilization kind of costume.
Yeah.
And I started off with samurais, and then to Chinese, the Chinese dynasty, early dynasty, those warrior outfits.
Yeah.
And then the kimono and things like that. So I tried all that.
Okay, before we go to the cat people, James, I want to talk about all these other things that you have as well. You know, just briefly, you are so much into the Marvel comic and things like that, right? Hellboy, I see. Hulk. Tell us just quickly about your interest in this as well. This is your latest, I think.
That is because I'm trying to create something like a fan art commissioning stuff.
Right.
And in terms of that, a lot of people do a different style, different way of doing it. So I was looking at way to break through.
Right.
And getting out my comfort zone. Okay, I saw this stroke and it's this calligraphy brush. I try to use something to simplify and bring out the characteristic of that individual Marvel hero or DC or the comics hero. So in that sense, it's at the same time I also get to use what I learned.
Right.
What is less is more.
Right. So simplify, so less is more.
Yeah, simplify. So get out of this series with the simple brush stroke, but you know what they are, and you can tell in terms of color, in terms of the characteristic, the behavior of the brush in that sense.
Right. But they're beautiful, because all you did is trying to simplify. You don't draw everything. You use big brush stroke for their torso, and it creates a fantastic image, right? Very, very memorable, actually, right? So I love
Thank you.
Yeah. So and then of course they are a bit more on the usual comic style stuff as well, right? From some of the other posts that you have done. This also, I suppose, is because of your love for comic.
Yeah.
Right. And also some of the more Chinese. I grew up reading all this Hong Kong magazine. You know, the Jin Yong stuff, right? So it reminds me of those.
Yeah, that's where I started off also.
Yeah, I think we have a bit of a common thing there. Of course, you have your COVID Avengers, which I saw. Yeah.
Those are the.
I have a good question for you. You don't do a lot of urban sketching, but I have a few of these here. Do you still do it every now and then?
Yeah, every now and then when my mood is right. Because initially when I first started doing urban sketching, is actually I'm trying to cultivate myself, bring myself out of the comfort zone again. You know, in that sense.
Yeah.
I love line drawing. I'm zero patience for background drawing, and I want to go into comics, and I can't employ an assistant to do background drawing for me, like building and stuff like that. So I must do it myself.
Yep.
And I find that renew this urban sketching love. You know, go around doing. Let's stand in the hot sun. Initially it was like 45 minutes. I cut short as fast as I can to 40 minutes to 30 minutes to complete a sketch. So in the process, I learned what to draw in, what to include in the details, what I need to include in, and what to omit out. But in the process of doing so, actually I learned what is less is more.
Actually, that's an interesting observation, right? It's extremely difficult to simplify, right? Very, very difficult to create a blur background that has some meaning, but actually doesn't take a lot of effort, right?
Correct. Totally agree with you.
Yeah. What's your love with Bruce Lee? Tell us about it.
I guess Bruce Lee bring the scenes when I was like 9-10-year-old. It was 1970s when they won back to this era.
Yeah.
And what I know back then as a child, it was a blind worship. Like he idolized the person. He was a super movie star. He actually bring out so much machoism, and also bring up the spirit of love of mankind, humanity. And the movies that he brings about. Most of what he actually talk about, he actually promoting his martial arts. Or martial art in general. How people perceive, how the West or the rest of the world perceive we Asian, the Dongya Bingfu, segment of Asian stuff like that. How we break the mold. And instead of through any kind of talk or invitation to gallery or to speeches, the best way is the silver screen. That's why he did that. And when I was inspired by him, I switched to his martial arts, and then that's where I started to go into martial arts.
Right. Do you practice martial art?
Yeah, I do. Initially, I was a taekwondo. In the late teens, and then I went to some Chinese kung fu like Chua Lei Fa and stuff like that. And then eventually, I ended up learning Wing Chun.
Oh wow!
Which is where Bruce Lee started off, lah.
Yeah.
And since then, it was like since 1993, 94. I practiced Wing Chun until now.
Oh wow! You still practice Wing Chun?
But then it's more of a spiritual level. It's more execution. Because execution-wise, you need a sparring partner, which is very hard to find. And as you know, Chinese martial art is almost a dying thing in our Asian culture. Not so much the West culture when they actually still worship such sports. And actually, martial art actually helped me in the sense that in my drawing, in my daily life and way of life and stuff like that. Especially what Bruce used to say, be water. And then a lot of people just think it that water, is soft, and then you can do a lot of funny things. But what he actually means is what water carries through as be able to adapt. Adapting to nature, I think not many of us can actually do that and then get comfort with it.
I agree.
And I think that it points up to another way of looking at it. If you pour water into a cup, it becomes a teacup. What does it say actually? Is that being adaptive? Absolutely. It actually says more than getting out of your comfort zone. Do well more than just being water itself. Being a teacup is not good enough. Do what teacup's supposed to do. It's the philosophical part of this statement, of this philosophy that he said, actually brings a lot of thoughts out of me.
Right.
And also, I love to draw action comics, and in my times when I draw action comics, we started with influence heavily by the Hong Kong comics, like the early days was Xiao Liu Mang, the Little Vagabond, and then slowly becomes Long Pu Men. They changed the name to Dragon Tiger Gate, and then they got the Zhonghua Yinxiong, the Bangkok hero, from Ma Rongchen and stuff like that. But I find that what's lacking in my drawing is the essence of the action. That's why I went into martial art. Inspired by him, and I went to martial art. And by experiencing it myself physically, emotionally, it's easy to put those stuff into my drawing. The movement, everything all comes to life in that sense.
It's amazing, right? I mean, it's very hard to draw something that you're not part of, because the fact that you describe martial art in such detail and your people movement, your point of view, your angle of your drawing, take your experience into consideration when you draw it, right? So
yes.
So okay, we'll move on to the third section where we'll talk about the cat people, right? Which is where I want to go to. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this cat people right now, a bit more deep dive into cat people. This whole very interesting, right? What I'm interested actually, James, is what goes through your mind when you start a piece of work like this. What's in your mind?
Okay. Let me see. I need to re-jog. I need to jog my.
It's okay.
Okay. with this piece of work in mind, right? Actually, what I have in the idea is just I was thinking of Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, okay.
Specifically, just Muay Thai. And then when I want to do a cat, right, what's the best way to showcase a Muay Thai action, a Muay Thai fighter in that sense?
Yeah.
So we draw back to the origin of Muay Thai. Okay, it comes from Thai.
Yeah.
When it comes from Thai, what kind of cat should I use?
Right.
Obviously, the Siamese cat.
Siamese cat, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So you see in the drawing that you see the certain characteristic of Siamese cat, like a bit darker on the muscle and nose upwards. So I simplify in the sense that a bit that tip, the ear is a bit darker and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anything else, other thing else will be the physical attribute to it, like the headband, the headdress that they have, and the armband and stuff like that.
The 8 limbs.
Especially of course the cooking shots.
Yeah. You know I practice Muay Thai.
And other than that. And my age is too physical.
Too physical, yeah. I
physical.
actually try. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
A lot of conditioning.
Yeah.
And what we preach in martial art training is not so much of conditioning physically in the sense. It's more than just physical. So through physical, you go to spiritual, and then otherwise you answer the whole martial.
Yeah.
It's a one hit.
Yes.
Successful execution wise. That's all you need. You don't have to put up so many combo on it to get one kill.
Yeah, I agree.
So wise we are actually not into that, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when you age, all those things will not help you at all.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this one. Space Invader or some, maybe it's not space, but it's
this is not.
Cat
This
Army.
is, I think one of the character in the Star Wars Awakening or whatever, which I can't remember the title. It's one of the prequel of the prequel of Star Wars, things like that. It's one of the character from a Chinese actor, I think.
Right. I get it.
Jiang Wen or Jiang Wu or something like that. I think it's Jiang Wen.
Yeah. Okay. And you have a lot of maybe a bit more. Don't have to talk through this. But we'll go through a few.
This I think is the most famous. This is the same one like the other one.
The Jiang Wu. Yeah.
This is the Jiang Wu one. Yeah.
Then the samurai ones, right? So you have quite a few of these. And this is not just cat. You also have the wolf, I think.
No, actually it's the same cat, but she's wearing a wolf mask.
Oh, I see.
So that is. Huh?
What's the meaning of this one?
This one actually has no meaning. It's just very random. It's just like, okay, I want to have two samurai. I don't want to have showcase a little bit of difference that I don't normally do.
Right.
That I suddenly put on mask on the cat. So that's why I just found something like that.
Interesting. What made you put a mask on a cat?
Mask in the warring state in samurai era, even in the Chinese ancient history, it's more to intimidate your enemy, your opponent.
Right.
So in that sense, like if you are a cat, you don't get you're fierce enough, you put on a mask to make yourself more fearsome.
Okay, excellent. Learn something. Right, more samurai, right? So this guy taking off the mask already, right? So yeah. So okay, maybe we're gonna move towards some of the other colored ones, right? So you can see some of the samurai cats, right? A full samurai outfit, right, so to speak. More samurai. I think it's also samurai, right?
It's not really samurai. This is a Tang Dynasty warrior outfit.
Okay, and it's not a sword. It's actually a brush with colors as a bullet. Tell us a bit more on this one.
All right. This illustration actually done specifically for Illustration Arts Fest in 2015, I think, or 2015 or 2016. It was the first launch at LaSalle.
Yeah.
I call this poster design, which I used back my own cat's character.
Right.
While the whole main theme is for illustration, so I doing it in a different style instead of samurai. I think that we are richer in our own Chinese culture.
Right.
So I use a plain brush itself as a medium, as a weapon, you know, and the brush itself, besides being a weapon, it actually also a flag.
Right.
Because we have flag say carved out with illustrations.
Right.
As you can see on where he was riding on the wild boar, you see a box of color medium there, the palette.
Yep.
Then you see a lot of brushes and to all the brush on the art equipment behind.
Yep.
The back. So the whole thing is illustrate of how illustration comes
right
about even in the ancient days,
Right.
And we actually fight for our survival in that sense.
It is true. It is true. Yeah, it is true. Yeah. So this one is a toga cat.
Yeah.
Cat relaxing. Again, this is a Chinese cat.
Yeah, this is a Chinese cat. It's a warlord cat,
Yeah.
This is actually also another one that I use for. I use it for a poster design for one of the exhibition of Singapore original art creator or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love this design. Very, very well done. Okay, it's very well done. So I'm gonna go to the this one. Let's talk through this. It's gonna play. Maybe I'll ask you questions around your process, right? James, I'm interested in your process, right? So if someone wants to learn a bit more about drawing, in their own way, cat people, dog people, whatever they want to do, right? What's your process?
First and foremost, before I dive into anything like that, you actually need to have some research, do some research on what the subject that you're going to do, and then what kind of essence you want to portray in that sense.
Yeah.
Over here you can see the way I illustrate is I did not have any draft.
Right.
Okay. I'm a very impatient man in terms of drawing because I want to get my result out, the image in my head out as quick as possible.
Right.
So I always the draft. The draft is only visually in my head.
Right.
So what I did, I just dive straight in and just outline the thing, and I edit along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your process is not to do too much drafting, but go straight in and edit until you see the image in your head down on a piece of paper or outcome. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like, in doing so, sometimes when you see that this part is not good enough, you zoom in and out at the time, then you put a stop and say, let's take a step back and see what I've done so far. Is there anything I need to modify and things like that?
Yeah.
That's why you start to edit a bit here and there.
And you let your research sort of help you or guide you in your drawing, right? Because without doing the research, you wouldn't know how the shield, the sword, the feet, the sandal looks like, right?
Yes. Because with that in mind, actually it helps you to have a smoother face in drawing without thinking too much. You just concentrate on drawing. If once you know your background, you know what essence, what spirit, or what message, or whatever skill, or whatever technique you want to portray, in the image.
Yeah.
It just go straight into execution. After you've done all the necessary research and stuff like that.
Yeah. I can understand that. And actually, the whole approach is quite interesting. The way you go about it, right? I can see you start with the head, the eye, the face, right, and then the body. Background last sounds like eye very important. You spend a lot of time on the eye.
Yeah.
A lot of time on the face, all right. Yeah.
The facial expression is the most important because that's where you evoke emotion.
Yeah.
What do you want the audience to see in this image? Yeah. What do you want them? What do you invoke? Yeah. What do you want to trigger? Certain emotional content.
Right. So actually, it's just not the image, but you're trying to elicit emotion from your audience, right?
Yeah, and also emotion through the body language too.
Yeah.
The pose and whatnot,
Yeah. So from a process, at least digital drawing here, I can see that your process is line, color. Tell us more about what goes through your mind, at this stage when you have done the first, the drawing. What goes through your mind? What are you looking for?
Okay, after I'm done with the mind drawing, most important is the shadings, which means you want to bring out the contrast.
Right.
On the lighter shade and the mid-tone and the dark and the shadows area.
Okay, values,
contrast. The thing will give you the depth.
Right.
Okay. So what I did here, the process on digitally, you get your value studies right. That means you know what's the dark and the light tones, the mid-tone, stuff like that. That's where I start to throw in colors, and with the color, actually using the software, the beauty of the software, layer masking, it actually can just put in the color to specific area that you want. And then if your opacity is light enough, you still show through some dark area with the monotone of it.
Right.
If not, then you can have it full color.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I actually have full control of the color in that way.
Yeah. You are always watching for values correctness, right? Your value is always correct. That's what you're saying.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and then the color
The
is
value
just
study is very important.
yeah, your value is the main thing, but then color is really just to make sure that it gives you the variety of color that you want. But at all time you are
Yeah.
watching out for the value tone, right? Because that gives you the form, right? The three-dimensional of it.
Correct.
Yeah. I see the way you did. It's just touching up, dancing around, front, back, left, front, and so on, right? I mean, we're almost done. And then, of course, the last splash of color at the back to make sure it pop, right? You're trying to make it pop. Yeah. So James, it is fantastic to actually see your process and to hear you talk about it, right? Someone wants to learn drawing. What is your maybe top tips? Any tips for any of our audience in terms of what they should be doing or working on if they are beginning drawing, let's say?
Okay. First and foremost, understand your tools. What kind of medium you want to drive in? Will it be pencil sketching, or will it be watercolor or acrylic or oil painting, whatever?
Yeah.
You just need to understand your tools, the characteristic and the behavior of how the tools work on the texture on the canvas, for example. After done that, you just need to copy stuff. Take a reference, copy as many as possible.
Right.
That gives you the feel of understanding what is going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes just copy alone, I'm not talking about copy blindly. You copy, actually you need to evaluate, you need to think why this spot here is darker than the other side and things like that. I mean, for somebody who doesn't go through a proper art training, I'm self-taught. Okay,
Right.
self-taught. Okay, I learned this through painful lesson. So you just need to start thinking. Just push your mind, thinking why this artist do it that way and why I'm copying this way.
Yeah.
In that sense, you're actually not copying blindly. Actually, you're learning what copy. After you copy enough, it's time for you to be able to remember what you've done.
Yeah.
And do a similar one without any reference, without anything. Just do it similar. If you're able to achieve that, like maybe 80%, 70% of similarity, it's a good start. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And from there, you start to learn. Okay, what else you want to learn?
Right.
Certain aspect, you can go into lines drawing, which another aspect, another challenge ahead. Or you want to do like pencil sketching, charcoal, or pastel. It's all different challenges. All you need to is understand the behavior of the tools, what the tools can get you to, and by making mistake in that particular drawing, actually it's a mistake. The mistake could be there for this piece of work, but that mistake is an effect for another piece of work.
Right.
So actually, while going through mistake, actually, if you remember them, not to repeat them, you repeat them in somewhere else that you find that it's appropriate. It's not a mistake anymore.
Yeah, I understand. It's like you discover techniques, right? But the techniques is a mistake in this one,
Yeah.
but it's actually a technique for another one, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So James, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom. I appreciate it. I hope the audience will also benefit from this chit chat.